Let me quickly rope in Major Mohammed Ali Shah at this point. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sir. Now, Chinese mouthpiece, Global Times, we all are aware of Global Times' intentions. We all are aware how Global Times is basically, besides being a mouthpiece, it also sends out Chinese message to the country where China is not able to send the message officially to different countries. Now, this particular statement by Global Times that Arunachal Pradesh is the southern part of Tibet, how do you think India should respond to this?
I think we should just ignore it. I mean, it's not worth reacting to it, because I remember in 2007, 2008, on that time, they had refused to give a visa to an IAS officer who belonged to Arunachal, saying that Arunachalis are Chinese. So I think it's totally, one should just ignore them completely. China has also been extracting uranium from POK, in fact, for that matter. And POK, Pakistan, at one time was offering their land to China. So China can, resort to any level. They can, a few days back, before the Quad meeting, they said that they are taking their own time because it's all a hogwash. But let me tell you, these meetings like Quad, for example, a formation like that takes time. So China can make any statements. They can claim that land is theirs. They did Islamic slicing in Nepal, in the Hamla district, 70 kilometers from Pithoragarh, which they claimed was a land of Tibet, which was their land. I mean, it's most ridiculous. So China can claim anything. We should just ignore them, ignore their statements. But yes, when they take an action on ground, that is something which we should actually think of it as a very assertive measure and take steps accordingly. Because China is not to be trusted. It should be just taken with a pinch of salt, is what I say.
Right, sir. Like you mentioned that, this statements that Global Times has made should be completely ignored by us. Do you think that we should really ignore them when India is exploring the possibility of uranium? Because a lot can happen on ground.
See, the statements are all propaganda from China. Yes, on ground, when you speak about that, should not be ignored. That should be taken to task. And when we are exploring the possibility of extracting uranium, there, see, our work, our efforts should not be interfered by any of them. And they should not illegally or illegitimately come and extract uranium from the land which is not their right. That should not be ignored. That certainly we should take heavy measures on that. And when they talk about de-escalation or withdrawal of troops, and learn from what Vietnam had done to them in 1979. When they moved behind and the border guards looked after and they gave the Chinese army a real thrashing. China till today has never dared to even look eye to eye with Vietnam because of the thrashing it got. Now China thinks they can flex its muscles, but certainly these things on ground when it happens, we should just wait and watch, because I don't think that China would have the guts to actually execute what it says. Because as I say, the clouds which roar hard, they do not give any rainfall. See, China is just trying to, provoke people and trying to give statements which are irrelevant completely. So yes, for the time being, yes, but if they come on ground, then we should take appropriate measures.
Right, now, China, this Global Times article also mentions that Arunachal Pradesh was founded illegally in the last century and it occupies about 90,000 square kilometers of Chinese territory. I mean, even though this comment is bizarre, this statement is bizarre, and this 90,000 square kilometers of Chinese territory, I'm sorry if I'm cracking this, I'm cracking up on the screen right now, but if we talk about this particular aspect, how should India go ahead and respond to this? Because when we are talking about illegal annexation, come on, China is talking about illegal annexations, about India annexing, illegally Chinese territory.
Absolutely, bang on. They are only trying to play a psychological warfare over there. So that psychologically people are affected by it and they see that that is China's land, but that is not. It is on, if you see 4th July 1914 in Shimla, when the Shimla Pact was signed, on a small scale map, the thick leaded pencil, the line was drawn, that's the McMahon line. In the entire 3,488 kilometer stretch, it is difficult to actually tell which side is China, which is India. because there is this line of actual control, unlike India, Pakistan, where there is line of control with a clear demarcation, which territory is whose. Yet China is trying to make full advantage of that and play it to their advantage, not realizing the fact that this could also play up to their disadvantage rather. Because if you see, as per the military-wise, there is no question about the fact that we are stronger than them. Their Chinese generals have written about our bravery, about our high-altitude warfare. When Chinese aircraft take off, they take off only with half payload of fuel because of the altitude over there. And also that line of actual control, it can be seen also, it can be perceived as our own territory. Like for example, in Ladakh sector, beyond finger 8, because when they say that, okay, when we had this, we had our defense minister speaking in the parliament a few days back, and he said, okay, we have withdrawn our troops from finger 4, we've come to finger 3, and from there patrolling. Earlier we would patrol up to finger 8 for that matter, and that is the perception that people will have in their mind, that which is India, which is China. But let me tell you, beyond finger 8 also, let China also hear this very clearly. If people in China are watching this, till finger 8 is our land. It certainly is ours. And even beyond, because there's no no demarcation. It's all our land, and don't try to think that illegally you can come and play psychological tricks and warfare. They are tricksters and they're not to be trusted. So China is only trying to play psychological warfare over there, which should not be taken seriously. But when it comes to operating on ground, for example, okay, I'll give you an example. Tactically, when a person comes for aggression, they'll come with shields, protective gear, they will come to attack. But China, if you see their location, they were camping in tents. That was open ground. They were unprotected. They were not in trenches or in bunkers. They were in tents. So which means their intentions itself were not to come and attack. Their intention was just show eyes, ghurayenge and daraike, dhamkake, and Indian army will retreat. But that is not the case. Unlike in 1962, what happened in March, the Chinese army came with a loudspeaker and they tried to influence our Gurkha troops by saying that you are Nepalese. Why are you joining hands with the Indian army? Please go back. But our Nepalese troops are so very faithful. They did not go back. Similarly, same tricks, exactly same. They say history repeats itself. And about 3 months after the Chinese troops had withdrawn in 1962, they attacked India. So we should be very well prepared that they will play these games, they will play anything tactfully, but we should not give in to what all tricks they play